Okay, picture this. You're standing on the shores of the Indian subcontinent, and it's over 1,300 years ago. You look out at the Arabian Sea under this huge blanket of bright stars, just waiting. Now you might be wondering, how did a religion born in the totally different, sandy deserts of Arabia find its way to these rich green coastlines? Well, today, we're going to unravel this epic historical mystery. We're looking at two completely different paths, one of peaceful sea breezes and another of scorching deserts and clashing swords.
Welcome, 7th graders, to today's exciting explainer. This journey into the past is produced by Waqas Ahmed Shah. He's an educator, an AI agent and automation builder for educators, traders, and startups based in Karachi, Pakistan. All right, get ready to step back in time. So, here's our historical map for the day. We'll start with the Great Mystery, then move to Sailing by the Stars. After that, it's A Message of Equality, Armies and Pirates, The Bad Report, and finally, Setting the Foundation. Let's go!
Stop number 1. Sailing by the Stars, the Peaceful Path.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Our story kicks off in the 7th century, but not with massive armies marching to conquer, but with the creaking wood of ancient ships and the salty sea air. These Arab traders crossed the vast Arabian Sea just looking for new markets, right? They didn't come to fight at all, they came to trade. And I've got some really cool facts for you here. Did you know they arrived just a few years after the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him? And think about this. Without any modern GPS, they navigated those massive wooden ships using literally just the stars. It's like a giant puzzle in the sky. If you visit India's west coast today, you can actually still find their direct descendants living there. Plus, one of their main stops, a port called Dabal, eventually exploded into a massively important city.
So, they navigated by the stars all the way across the sea. But that brings us to a huge question. If you were steering one of those ships back in the 7th century, where exactly would you drop your anchor? Where did these peaceful traders actually land? Let's take a look. Well, they landed at some of the most bustling, busy ports of the ancient world. In the year 636 CE, a sea expedition arrived at the port of Thana, which is near modern-day Bombay. Around that same time, other ships anchored at Broach in Gujarat and at the port of Dabal in Sindh. By the middle of the 7th century, these Arab traders had basically set up permanent communities in these ports. And here's the best part. Because they were known for being incredibly honest and having just really excellent manners in their business deals, they easily won the trust and the friendship of the local people.
Section 2. A Message of Equality. Two Different Worlds.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the clash of two completely different worlds. When these Muslim traders arrived, they didn't just bring new goods to trade, they brought a brand new way of looking at society. At that time, Hinduism was the main religion in the subcontinent, but their society was strictly divided into a caste system. Kind of think of it like the strictest school cliques you can possibly imagine, but you can literally never leave your group. At the very top were the Brahmins, the priests, and way down at the very bottom were the Shudras, who were basically treated as slaves. But Islam? It brought something totally different. It wasn't based on a caste system at all. It taught that there are absolutely no barriers between people.
Islam introduced a powerful, game-changing message of equality. That means a king and a common worker are exactly the same before God. Imagine you're someone at the bottom of that old caste system, right? And suddenly you hear this message that you are just as equal as anyone else? No way! It's honestly no wonder this idea deeply influenced Indian life and culture. Many locals were naturally drawn to Islam, completely peacefully, without a single sword ever being drawn.
Section 3. Armies, Deserts, and Pirates, the Perilous Path.
But remember, we said there were two paths, right? While the traders were peacefully selling spices on the coast, a much more dangerous story was unfolding by land. The early caliphs were sending mighty armies into completely unknown territories. In 644 CE, an army sent by Caliph Uthman pushed through the harsh, brutal lands of Balochistan all the way to the river Indus in Sindh. Later, under Caliph Muawiyah, Arab forces crossed the Bolan Pass near Quetta. They reached as far as Lahore around 663 CE and even raided the Khyber Valley. By the later 7th century, they had officially conquered Makran, turning it into a major Arab outpost.
But man, this land route was incredibly tough. They weren't just fighting the scorching heat in the Rocky Mountains, they were battling local tribes. And on the coast, they ran into a group so terrifying, their reputation spread across the waters. So who were these fierce enemies waiting to ambush the Arab forces?
They were called the Mids. This was a dreaded and super fierce group of pirates. I mean, they did not play by the rules, and they put up a massive fight. The Arab armies eventually had to battle them just to secure the area. They captured treasure and even had to set up a permanent soldier garrison in Makran, basically just to keep these pirates at bay.
Section 4, the famous bad report. Why did they struggle?
So, these land armies conquered territories, they defeated pirates, they even brought back thousands of slaves, horses, and, get this, a live elephant. Yet, despite all this, they really failed to gain firm control over the land. Why did such a mighty military struggle so much? Well, imagine being the leader of that 644 expedition. You're exhausted, looking out over a brutal desert. He actually wrote back to the caliphate with this heavy, desperate message. He wrote, "Water is scarce, the dates are bad, and the robbers bold. If a few troops are sent, they will be killed. If many are sent, they will starve." Wow, that quote just sends shivers down your spine, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the harsh, unforgiving reality they were dealing with.
Let's break down exactly why this military path failed to secure firm control compared to the traders. Step 1, the environment was absolutely their biggest enemy. The harsh deserts and severe lack of water meant huge armies simply couldn't survive. Step 2, they were constantly drained by battling those fierce pirates like the Mids and bold local robbers. And step 3, which is crucial, the Arabs just didn't bring people with them who knew how to actually organize, govern, and rule these newly conquered complex lands. I mean, they were soldiers, not city planners.
Section 5, setting the foundation, the legacy.
So, the crucial point here is this. While the massive armies couldn't lock down the subcontinent in those early days, neither path was in vain. Let's do a quick recap to lock this all in. First, Arab traders arrived peacefully by sea in the 7th century, building trust through total honesty. Second, they brought Islam's powerful message of equality, which completely shook up that strict caste system. Third, the land armies faced terrifying challenges like scorching deserts and the dreaded mid-pirates. And finally, even though military control was a major struggle at first, these two paths combined to set a rock-solid foundation for Islam in the Indian subcontinent.
I really hope you loved diving into this mystery with me. If you enjoyed this explainer, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and follow us for more epic historical journeys just like this one. It really helps the channel grow so we can keep making these adventures for you. Before you go, I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on. Put yourself back in that 7th century world for a second. Knowing what you know now about the calm seas, the message of equality, the brutal deserts, and the fierce pirates, if you were exploring the subcontinent back then, would you choose the path of the peaceful trader or the daring soldier? Think about it. Keep exploring, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next lesson.